What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally, and I mean literally, does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hold it, let me see if I can adjust this. This is Broke Ass Media. I'm the cameraman and all, too. It's too low. It's too low. Let me see. There we go. That's a little bit better. Broke ass media in full effect. This is new media. It's not like, where you've got 75 people that are on staff working for you to make sure that your hair's right and that you got the scripts and everything else. But we have some breaking news. Da 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 da. Okay. Micah Parsons, the Cowboys have finally done something. They have placed the fifth-year option on Micah Parsons. Let's see. So let me. The question is, and this is shout out to Cowboys VA. According to the Dallas Morning News, let's see. The Dallas Cowboys are placing the fifth-year option on Micah Parsons, but at what position? The Cowboys chose the position that moves closely coincides with the three-timers Pro Bowler usage on the field. Technically, the Cowboys have labeled Micah Parsons as a linebacker since drafting him in 2020. They have not changed his position on any public-facing rosters in the 3 seasons, despite him spending most of his career on the line of scrimmage at defensive end. In a long-expected decision, the team is placing the fifth-year option on him. At what position is of note? Parsons is receiving the fifth-year option as a defensive end, not at linebacker. 2 people familiar with this decision told the Dallas Morning News, as a linebacker, Parsons would earn a little more than $24 million in 25, and the final season of his rookie contract as a defensive end, his 2025 salary will be $21.32. Okay. So, there you have it. NFL teams can add a 5th season onto the contract of any first-round pick 3 seasons into the player's deal. This is the first time Parsons' position has been bearing this on his compensation. Okay, so here's what we have. So, with the Cowboys placing the 5th-year option on here, that means they don't have to do anything on his contract this season or until next season, and even beyond that, they could franchise tag him after that. Now, I don't see the Cowboys waiting and waiting and waiting, because the longer, of course, you wait, the more it's going to cost you. This is one way, because here's the thing with Micah Parsons. There's a big difference between Micah Parsons' contract and, say, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's contract, his 5th-year option ends up paying him $17.8 million this year. If the Cowboys get on a long-term deal, they can probably take off about $10 million of that number for this year, locking him up. So getting his deal done will actually save them cap space. Micah Parsons, on the other hand, getting that $5 million, and keep in mind, they had the same situation with Dak Prescott, although because he was not a first-round pick, they couldn't put a 5th-year option. But they went through the 4 years before they decided to put the franchise tag on him, and ended up paying him $31 million that year. So in retrospect, you look at it this way. The first 5 years of Dak Prescott's career only cost the Cowboys $35 million. Pretty cheap when you think about a quarterback and their compensation. So looking at Micah Parsons, his cap number for this year is only $5-point-something million. So putting on that next year and waiting to do his deal will keep this year cheap. Now, it's going to make next year, of course, more expensive, because you'll have that $25 million hit next year. But you will have some relief this year. So, the cap will, of course, go up probably another, 25, 30, $40 million next year as well. So, you've got that equation in there. You'll have more room to work with, and you won't have as many big contracts that you need to do. And so this is a way of kicking the can down the road. This ultimately would be, is if you're talking about an all-in situation where you say, we want to bring in as many people as possible, that could give you an extra player that you could end up signing, because his cap number would probably drop up to maybe 10, 12 million the first year. That's $5 to $7 million that you could actually have to spend now that you won't by getting him as a long-term deal. It behooves the Cowboys, if they are going to go ahead and go all in, so to speak, it behooves them to get Dak Prescott's and CeeDee Lamb's done, because between the two of them, they could get about 40, maybe to as much as $50 million of cap space, depending on how they work out the contract. So there you go. At least we finally have something happening with the Cowboys. Maybe we'll finally get this thing going. Maybe, just maybe. Just maybe, finally. Now, I'm looking at this. I'm trying to find it on, because it's Dallas Morning News, because they hadn't, I want to make sure that this is current, because we don't want to get any misinformation on there. Yep, this was 7:28 p.m. tonight. So, that was just an hour ago. So, it is, we'll take that the newspapers are correct and that the 50-year option. But I want to follow it up. If I had a chance to talk to Micah Parsons, here's what I'd have to say. The Joneses have made it very apparent they have no intention of acquiring upper-tier free agents to help your team. Adding 3 mediocre players over one proven difference maker with a higher price is equal to, for them, is equal to all in to them. You're smart. You realize teams aren't winning a Super Bowl and drafting alone. You know, and here's, if I take the cynical approach, to this, I would say for Micah Parsons, this ultimately may be the best thing for his career, because he's already been on board saying, we need help. We need, lights out defensive players on the line and stuff. We need elite talent. And this is where I was also saying about earlier that Dak Prescott needs to go in and say, what is the ultimate goal here? Are you looking to win a Super Bowl or just be right here where we are? Because the things we're doing right now, it's not enough. And if we're going to work on this and trying to get a Super Bowl, I'll do a more team-friendly deal. If not, I can go someplace else. I'll just play out with what I have, or I'll break the bank. And if you're CeeDee Lamb, you need to be asking the same question too. What is the ultimate goal here with the Cowboys? Because, your time in the NFL is short. And what every NFL player dreams of, and every kid who wants to be a football player dreams of, being a Super Bowl champion. And that's where this actually gives Micah Parsons some time to take a look and see, okay, Mike McCarthy's on a 1-year deal. We got Mike Zimmer in here. After this year, what's the plan? Are we going to do anything different this year? So this may be a case where the Cowboys think, we're smarter than everybody else. But it ends up being they outsmarted themselves. And it's an opportunity where they could end up losing. Well, actually, they can't lose, because they could end up franchise tagging him a couple of times after the 5th-year option. But so to speak, he can make it more difficult. All right, good people. At least we have something going on. I will see you guys soon. Peace.